Hey guys, I've never actually gone live. Am I live? Is anybody going to even know that we're here if it's just me? Oh, hi Emily. Okay. I've never actually done this before, so I feel like I'm flying. Okay, here's Suzanne. You go live with. Here we go. I think. Hi. Hi. Okay. I don't hear an echo. I don't hear an echo either. Hey. My goodness. The problem is that nobody knows who I am and everybody knows who you are. So I'm hoping people will still join. They will, because we're both live. So they can join from mine or yours. Okay, good. Hi, Tamily, and anybody else that's creeping on here. Yeah, that's my husband, so that's okay. I knew that, but so I'm so pleased that people are still keeping with us after we had a restart like 5 times, but looks like we already have like 8 people on. So this is going to be our first edition of the Ask Tamily interviews, which we want to be a casual and fun thing. So we'll just have to ignore the technical problems. Yes, it's going to happen. And just to give you guys an update, before Nicole and I actually do the interviews, I'm going to interview Nicole, and then Nicole's going to interview me. Since we did the announcement on Thursday, we've had several people that have volunteered to be interviewed, and then several people that family members want us to reach out to see if they want to be interviewed. And so I think we have about 16 people, and there's like 22 Saturdays left in the year. So I was figuring too, after today, we'll probably have some more volunteers and stuff. So we'll probably book out a schedule for all the Saturdays for the rest of the year, and then we can communicate the schedule to you guys. So we'll live stream it. And obviously you can watch live, which is the most fun, but people can watch it for up to 24 hours later. And then we also want to like share the information from the interviews in a blog some type of way, but we haven't talked about a lot of details about that. Nicole, do you have any thoughts about that you wanted to share? I don't. We have a website. It's asktamily.com. We have an Instagram page called Ask Tamily. I don't know. I think it's all just new, and if anybody has any idea or is really good with technology, then it's or whatever. I mean, like you said in the original post, that we're the family by the Tamily. So this is an all-inclusive, cool way to get to know each other better than we already do. And I'm sure that there'll be things we can make better along the way, like the lighting in the room that I'm in right now. I don't even think you can see me very well, but you guys let us know your feedback, and we'll, make it better as we go. But we can go ahead and start. Nicole, if you're ready, we'll start with your interview. I don't know if I'm ready, but let's go. And I would say, again, like, we just want this to be fun. I don't think that Nicole did, and I know I didn't prepare at all. So we're just answering questions, with honest answers for the Tamily, and, I think that's the way to do it. So anybody that's going to be interviewed, don't be nervous about it. We really just want it to be like a conversation. Yeah, yeah. So the first thing that I wanted to ask, and we have a little list of questions that's grown a little bit from suggestions from the Tamily also. The first question is, why did you decide to do the Tracy Anderson method, and like when and how? Okay, so I was one of the people that was like addicted to watching the infomercial like 10 years ago. Like every night, every time it was on, I would just stare at the TV like a weirdo. And I never bought. I think that was Meta, right? That was Metamorphosis, yeah. The first one. So I never bought it, and then I talked to my sister about it, who's a total and hates it because she wants to be huge. She's used to a different type of workout. So lucky me, she handed it off to me. And I remember the first time that I did it, I was visiting my dad's house in Colorado, and I thought I was gonna die after that first workout. Like I didn't even know what my body had just done. I was so sore, and it seemed so difficult, but I stuck with it. I wasn't very consistent in the beginning, but I did finish Meta not in 90 days. And then, of course, I went on to continuity, and I did that for about 9 months consistently, and then I fell off the wagon again and wasn't consistent with my workouts, but got back into it. But I really got the method and really thought for myself when I turned 39. I subscribed to streaming. And then the Got Your Back Girl, like meeting Ashley and, going to, I don't, yeah. So I guess that was about 8 years ago that I started.
Wow. So how long have you been streaming, actually? Because I don't remember exactly how old you are right now.
I'm 42.
Okay, so you've been doing streaming almost since it first came out then, right?
Yeah. I wanted to right when it came out, but I just didn't. And then, you justify the expense eventually, and I just called it a birthday present.
Yeah.
And so like from the beginning, streaming has been awesome. And I've also, like, I wasn't consistent that first year until the Got Your Back Girl. I was not as consistent as I should have been, even though I loved the workouts. Like, I don't know, it's the community thing that really brought me to it.
Yeah, definitely.
We all get that.
So how do you feel, what do you think the differences are from doing continuity to doing streaming for you?
Continuity was great because you really connect Tracy one-on-one and you understand the angles she wants you to hit before you start to understand it. Like, I guess it's the beginning of the language, maybe she would say, the physical language. Energy streaming is like priceless. Even when it's just Tracy in the class, the music, the seeing other people, seeing people we know. It's just like going to this really cool gym every day that I want to keep going to. And
yeah. So what would be your advice for someone that's new to the method of what they should do or how they should go about becoming dedicated to the method?
I think just let your body do it. Don't overthink it. If you're starting with like continuity or meta, and this is really your very beginning of the Tracy Anderson method, just trust in Tracy. It just feels weird at first. My ankles hurt, my wrists hurt in the beginning. I was wearing like braces, but I kept doing it. So don't, just let your body do what as consistent as you can. It's hard. Life is busy. We tend not to take care of ourselves first. It's everybody else. But like, carve out that time and stick with it. And I don't know anybody who's ever tried this that hasn't just been into it. So stick with it.
That's very good advice. Who would you say in the family inspires you?
Oh my gosh. You, Ashley, everybody, everybody's so different and so alike. I don't know how we could pick one person that doesn't inspire us, like, whether or their progress, like mentally and spiritually and different. It's still the same. It's just so cool. But I can't pick one.
Okay, that's fair. Is there any specific thing that really motivates
just jump on this little Instagram and be like, okay, everybody else is doing it, so I'm doing it too. A quote. I love Oprah, and I could probably rattle off 75,000 quotes from her if I wasn't sitting here on Instagram Live right now.
What is your usual approach to working out? BC, IMC, masterclass, dance cardio. What do you usually do?
I really try to do the masterclass. Sometimes, especially the last kind of 6 months or so, my body is like, I can't do this. I don't know if it's really my body or my brain, but I just feel exhausted. So I go to IMC, do the masterclass. I love dance cardio, even though I look a fool doing it. I love doing it. So I've tried to incorporate dance at least 10 minutes every time I work out. Just do cardio. Some days I'll do dance cardio instead of arms, which I think might be a no-no, but it's just the way it happens some days. Yeah, masterclass. I try for it.
Awesome. Have you converted anyone to being a devoted Tammer?
No, but I'm really trying to get my daughter to be a devoted Tammer. Have you considered Yeah, no, I haven't. I did share my streaming. I shared 5 links with different people. A few of them are already Tamily members, or they just hadn't been on streaming. They're doing meta continuity or something like that. But yeah, I'm really trying to get my daughter, who's 20, not only because I know it'd be fantastic for her. So I see how if she could stick with it from 21 till whenever, forever. I just want to see what it does. If I had had the opportunity to start this when I was 21 instead of doing Cindy Crawford and Billy Blank, the freaking Buns of Steel or whatever, I know my body would be completely different, instantly, structurally. So
that's a great point.
Instagram feed with everybody if you want to give her the hard sell too.
What is important to you in your life that you would want to share with the family?
I don't know. I guess that Suzanne.
It doesn't need to be hard.
That I don't know, that I guess if I wanted to share anything with anyone, it would be that I really identify myself as a caring, nurturing person. If somebody asked me, what's your purpose in life? My purpose in life, I think, is to be a mother, not only to my daughter, but my pets and my people, my friends and family. Some people call that smothering, but I think as I get older, I try and identify what's my, that type of.
I think that's perfect that you shared that because it's so true. And I know this is not going to be me asking you a question, but I'm just going to say that, like most of us on here, we only met because we were on Instagram and we do this workout. So obviously that's how I met Nicole. And I invited myself to a vitality week that her and Ashley were going on. And, you never know what someone's really going to be like when you really meet them. And that is the perfect explanation of Nicole. She really is one of the most genuinely caring people. And there's so many people like that in the Tamily. But, I mean, I feel like if we did Tamily superlatives, she would be the most caring or the sweetest. She thinks of things to do for people that I would never think of ever. It's just, her caring nature, and that's definitely what I think is the coolest thing about her. So, have been coming through from anyone watching. It's kind of really hard to look at it, but it doesn't look like there's any questions. So any questions that you want Nicole to answer, just type them in. But I have a couple more. I'm not asking her all 25 that are on the list, but I have a couple more. One is, how do you fit working out, almost on a daily basis into your life? What's like your routine?
I have to get up first thing in the morning and do it. I do the occasional afternoon workout or evening workout, but I think the key to my consistency is to just get up in the morning, have coffee, put my feet up my room, whatever I'm going to do, and just hit play. Like, I can't do the evening, so yeah.
So good and motivated of you, and that's really the way to do it. That's not the way everyone does it, but that's the way to do it. Why is your workout important?
Because it's like maybe it's not the only thing that I only do for myself, but it's maybe one of like 3 or 4 things that I actually am only doing for me. My keeps me balanced. It creates like the ability for me to be everywhere else in my life. Notice when I work out that I don't sleep as well. I feel off. Kind of I can handle other people's crap.
That's a good reason. What are the kind of like results that you've seen since you've been doing the workout for several years, and not just like physical results or whatever, but in general, what kind of results have you seen?
I'm definitely stronger. My upper body has really like come along. My lower body is catching up. Suzanne, are you still there?
Yes.
Okay. I guess my physically I've changed for sure. Mentally, I think I just feel better in my own skin because of, and also, and it might just I'm getting older. Little things that I see as imperfections, I just kind of am letting it go.
Yeah, that's good.
That or not, but
awesome. Well, let me check if there's been any.
I can't. Can you guys see Suzanne? I can't see you right now. I can see your shadow in a swirling circle.
Oh, but you can still hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, it doesn't look like anyone takes any other questions. Is there anything else that you want to share for your interview, Nicole?
That I think you're awesome, and that I want everybody to know that this entire Ask Tamily thing was brilliant. Suzanne's idea, and she just mentioned it, and I just, that's it. Cool. Can't wait.
Yeah, I'm excited about how it will turn out too, but it's not all me. It's supposed to be all of us.
It's everybody
with it, so
yeah. Well, but it was your idea, lady. Take some credit. That's your
for the Tamily, by the Tamily.
All right. Okay. Now I can't see you, so I cannot gauge how you are. I'm just gonna ask you questions. Can anybody else see Suzanne, or is it just my?
Because I'm kind of outdoors, so like the sun must very well right now.
The wind blew a different direction. Oh, and that's the other thing. I just wanted everybody to know. So I live on the West Coast. I'm in Oregon. So if anybody ever wants to do like a West Coast time frame morning workout together, let me know.
Because I like doing Girl Scouts. It's fun. Right?
Yeah, I'm gonna like move inside and see if maybe that helps the connection because people are saying it's blurry.
Okay. Well, I will wait to ask you a question until then. So yeah, so people that are on here right now, I did register an Instagram. It's called Ask Tamily. Currently, Suzanne and I are the only two, and I don't know what we're going to end up doing. But I'll just make it open. Anybody can do it. What else?
Can everyone see me better?
I can't see you yet.
Really?
Do you want to hang up and try and rejoin?
Yeah, I'll do that. You stay on there. I'll just close and rejoin.
All right, so for anybody that's just joining us, Tampa Suzanne was having some technical difficulties, so she's going to rejoin this live. And I am going to interview her. Go live. Oh, Emily, it's so on Instagram, it's just Ask Tamily is the account, and then we'll have a website, and it's asktamily.com, but it currently doesn't have anything on it.
Hi.
Hi. Yes, I can see you.
Oh, good.
Okay.
I think you just have to like periodically rejoin on this thing.
Yeah. But, is it going to knock us off if we go after an hour?
I think it is.
Well,
so we'll just restart if we're not done in an hour. Although we started late, so I think we have like 40 minutes or something. So I think we're fine.
Okay. Are you ready?
I think so.
Okay. Suzanne, how about what is something that you've learned from first, have you been to a Vitality Week?
Yes.
And you've met
you can look at my credit card balances and see that I've been to 3. I went to one that was called the Tampa Vitality Week, which was actually in St. Petersburg. It's a totally different city on another side of a huge body of water, but it was called the Tampa Vitality Week. And then I went to the Hamptons, which is where I crashed Nicole and Ashley's Vitality vacation. And it was the greatest time ever. But really, I met them by, I think, I don't know, people were like posting and they said they were going to a Vitality Week. And I was like, I really want to go, but I don't have anyone to stay with. And they were like, well, we're going. So I stayed with them. It was fantastic. And then I did go to the Charleston Vitality Week last year. And it's definitely an amazing experience and totally worth it. I still have some balances on credit cards for that, which is not a great idea, but I needed those Vitality Weeks to get to the place that I am today with this workout. And with the Tamily and meeting people, like that's the biggest part of it. Besides, of course, being able to be with Tracy. But, I was kind of like, I don't know, craving that type of interaction for a while. And now I find it, almost just as motivating to really just Skype workouts or FaceTime workouts. And the live streaming workouts that I've been doing on my Stream Me channel are motivating to me. And I also went to the Tribeca studio in New York City, and that experience was, to me, like, very different, but equivalent to a Vitality experience. And just way less money. But a really cool, totally different thing. Obviously, when we went to the Hamptons Vitality, we got to be in a studio. So being in Tracy's studios is amazing. Feeling that real heat and humidity, the floors, having the energy, the way that everything is, it's awesome to be in a studio. But, you can go to a studio without it being a Vitality Week. And I guess at first I thought,
that would be a really subpar experience because it's not going to be Tracy. Like, there's a chance you could have a class with Tracy at a studio, but most of the time it's going to be other trainers, and I just felt like they wouldn't be as good as Tracy, and they are. Like, and they're different than her too. Like, it's just really cool seeing all the different styles. Like, Lashauna's way of teaching cardio is like totally different than Courtney and stuff. And being able to experience, like, I don't know, Aga and I went to New York together, and I think maybe we took like 10 different classes because we were there for 5 or 6 days or something. And we almost had a different trainer for every single class. And it was just a really, really amazing way to experience the method from all of those different trainers. Like, so, I would definitely say Vitality Week experiences are worth it. I probably have personally gone a little overboard with this. But the studio is amazing too. So if someone can't, fit into their budget or their credit card balances, at Vitality Week, the studio experience is so amazing. And sometimes it's kind of disappointing if you're at Vitality Week and it's not at a studio and you're, in a place where they don't get like the heat and humidity exactly right. And it can be kind of disappointing, and they are like very crowded. Not that studios aren't very crowded too, but they're specifically set up for our method. So that's definitely a super worthwhile experience for anyone that can get to a studio ever at all, regardless of what trainer you have. They are all so amazing.
Yeah. Yep. I agree, and I've only one studio non-Vitality Week class, but hoping to do some here in September.
Yes.
So since you've been to the Vitality Weeks and you've met Tracy, what is something that you've learned from Tracy that you carry with you?
I feel like a lot of things. I would say like every time at Vitality Weeks, and then even like, just watching Ask Tracy or listening to like anything she says, even when she just interrupts the workout and tells us like one extra little thing, it, makes me have this other realization. I'd say most of the things are probably like kind of small, or they seem small, but they've meant a lot to me in being able to become a person that's like athletic at doing this workout. Mm-hmm. And I was never like that before. I did try other workouts before and stuff, but I would never do anything consistently. I was never like, into any kind of sports or anything. I'm kind of like a clumsy nerd, so I just haven't, and I don't have like all of the grace that's involved in dance cardio, but that doesn't matter. You can still do it.
Don't judge yourself.
Right. But it's like little things. Like at the Charleston Vitality Week, I talked with Tracy about like using my toes to stabilize myself in different moves, and she was like, "You're completely changing the move. You have to put your foot out flat. Like, unless it's a move where you're supposed to, like, obviously, when we do different plank type of moves and stuff, but just changing that changes how I feel in those moves. It's utilizing the muscles correctly and stuff. And, when you're first getting into this workout, and especially if you haven't been, a person that was very into fitness or athletic before, you don't know a lot of those things. And just like Tracy says, you don't know your own body. You don't have that connection. So I didn't even know, probably for a long time, that I was using my foot to stabilize myself. And now there'll be times that I'll still like start to do that, and I might even need to do it for the first couple of moves in, or first couple of reps in one move or whatever. But then I will realize, okay, I need to put my foot out, and I can feel that I'm engaging more of my body to get the move done. And that would be another thing, like, it's something I feel like I'm still learning, is like using your whole body to do all of the exercises. Like, for me, in the beginning, there was a lot of things that I physically wasn't capable of doing. And it might have been like a mental thing, but it might have also been just weight and lack of strength and lack of coordination.
but the moves, like the star type of moves where we move our hip off the floor, I couldn't do that. I would do whatever thing we were doing with our other leg, but I couldn't lift my body off of the floor, like just with my, obliques or whatever. It wasn't possible. And then as I listen to Tracy more, and I think that's also the benefit of doing like metamorphosis and some continuity, because she talks to you about those things while you're working out. Realizing that you just need to engage everything. Rolling your hips is a totally different move when you're engaged in your entire core and body. And doing that than if you're just sort of going through the motions. You're still doing the move, but it isn't quite the same. So it's that type of little advice that I really think has taken me to a place in my workout where I can perform it with adrenaline and have my whole body involved and be able to burn 747 calories in an hour and 15 minutes. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's the fact that we don't even really engage, cardiovascularly. We don't, but to burn that is amazing.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So I probably should have asked this question first, but how did you start the method? And then I'm going to ask a two-part question. What results have you seen?
Okay. I started really, really similar to how you did. I was watching that infomercial. It had to be around 2010 or something. I was living in an apartment in Tampa, and my husband's job hadn't transferred here yet. And I spent a lot of late nights watching her infomercial.
Whoever that thing.
It was a great infomercial. The centrics and the testimonials, I was like, that workout is what I need to be doing. But I was in excuse mode, and I was like, well, I'm on the 3rd floor of this apartment building, so I can't jump around or people complain. I mean, that has to be the stupidest excuse for not working out. So, of course, I didn't buy it. My husband's job transferred here in 2012, and then we got into a house. And I think I bought Metamorphosis in 2013 maybe, but I didn't do it until 2014. I did do it for 90 days. I took a rest day every 7 or whatever, but I went through it. I lost 12 pounds. It was fantastic. I was very pleased with it. And I pretty much didn't do the workout again for months. I mean, why do something that's working? It's just so silly. And then I started graduate school. And, the excuse I hate the most about not working out is not having time.
Yeah.
But I really don't think I had time when I was taking, classes and working. And I worked a lot more hours then than I do now. So once I graduated, I think that was August of 2015, then I got back into doing it. And actually, I did a little bit of Metamorphosis again. I know you're not supposed to do that, but I did. And then I bought 3 years of continuity, and I think I did 2 or 3 months, and I wasn't being that consistent. So I bought the Tampa Vitality Week, and I thought, if I spend money on this, I'll do the workout every day, and that didn't work either. So the Got Your Back Girl Challenge started in January of 2016, and I had 2 partners. They actually don't do the workout anymore, but I still see one of them on Instagram, and they'll always be in my heart because I did the workout for the 30 days. We did all the little challenges where you post stuff and learn stuff, and I mean, there were 2 people I didn't know anything about them at all, so I had to learn what their birthdays were and their favorite foods and stuff like that, and it was just so engaging, the community. That's what made me have workout consistency, because I knew it was the right workout for years. I knew that it would give me results because, 12 pounds in 90 days is pretty good results. And I could see, every time, 2 or 3 days of doing the workout in a row, I would be I can physically see things being different in my body.
Yeah.
It's amazing. But that still, even results didn't keep me consistent enough. It was having this Instagram community that really made the total difference.
And so really since then I've been almost doing this workout every day. So that's well over 2.5 years. And I did start with beginners. I did beginners for 4 months. And so I think April of 2016, then I did advanced. And we didn't have IMC then, or I would have done IMC. But so now I've been on that track, and it's 100% because of this community.
So,
we said results also. So, I stopped doing measurements and stuff a really long time ago, but at my low weight is a 50-pound weight loss, which is crazy. I'm not at my low weight right now, but I'm closer to it because of live streaming my workout for the last few weeks and really putting my heart into it, because I don't know why. For me, I talked about this on the live stream last night. I just can't find that adrenaline and motivation and passion when it's just me and the TV. I give up easily. So that's why I make myself live stream my workout, and even if no one is watching at the time, I am more engaged. So that's also just a factor for me.
You're performing.
Yeah. It's the thing Tracy says, to perform like Beyonce.
Yeah.
When it's live.
A couple of other questions, and I know the answer to I know the answer to both of these, but I think it'd be good advice to share with some other people that are just starting out or are posting on Instagram. So you have a really kind of interesting story about how you started posting on Instagram and why, and who encouraged it. I hope you know where I'm going with that. And then also, will you tell people about the very first week experience, for water? I think that speaks a lot. Your team consistency.
So I'm plugging in my iPod so we don't lose battery. So your first question about the posting.
Why?
Yeah. I don't know exactly what you're asking, but I'll just start answering you, and you tell me if it's what you're looking for.
Well, your doctor encouraged you to join a community.
Right. So I think I was 34, and I was having terrible acid reflux. And I actually thought I had strep throat because my throat hurt so bad. And when I went to the doctor, he was like, "You have acid reflux and it's terrible." And I was like, "No, you need to do a throat culture." And he was like, "I'm happy to charge you for a throat culture, but you have acid reflux and you need to do something about it." And I was like, "I don't even believe what you're saying." And he's like, "Don't eat these 20 foods, and you need to work out and stuff like that." And I was like, how am I going to not eat all the foods on this list? It's a terrible list. No processed foods, no fried food, no soda. At the time, I was super addicted to Diet Coke. And I was like, I just don't know if this is possible. And he was like, "Well, you could just lose 15 pounds and it'll probably go away." And I was like, "Oh, how dare you tell me to lose 15 pounds? It's so rude." And really, a lot of our doctors should be saying stuff like that, but he doesn't really care whether I think he's rude or not, and he's a great doctor. But he was like, you need to utilize a social media for this, and I was like, no. I deleted my Facebook page a while ago. I'm not really that into social media. This is the only thing I do that's social media related. It's about this workout. But he said, post what your goals are, get other people involved. And I was like, that seems crazy. And that was maybe 6 months before the Got Your Back Girl Challenge started. So then when that started, I really got into it. And before that, I did post every time that I worked out. I don't think I had hardly anyone following me, and I think I would get 2 people might like my picture or 0. And I didn't post my face ever.
I remember.
And he didn't know if I knew I wasn't posting my face. I would crop the picture to whatever I found remotely acceptable and put that. And the Got Your Back Girl Challenge thing changed with that a lot. And obviously now
I post my face every day, but I think that's a like pivotal thing because that's not about like, oh, I lost weight. So, and obviously I could lose 15 pounds if I lost 50. So clearly I, needed to lose some weight. Um, but that's about a whole different like view of yourself.
Yeah.
But, whether you're posting your face or not. So that's a whole different kind of result from this method.
Right.
And community.
Right. And that's almost like maybe I would argue a more important result than the physical result.
Sure. Yeah.
Growth.
Yeah.
And anyway, the Vitality Week question was really just you put yourself out there, and it was really hard, but you stuck with it.
Yeah.
I think that says a lot about who you are.
Yeah. I think, when I went to that Tampa Vitality Week, we were in a very tiny yoga studio, and it was very, very hot. And I don't know if it was even as humid as Tracy, would want it, like, especially because I don't know that they had it set up perfectly for humidity perspective, but it was hot. The hottest place I'd ever been in my life.
It's hot.
And I wasn't working out with heat then, and I was only doing beginners. I don't know how I thought that I could survive, and I was definitely in the bottom 5, most out of shape people in the room. And it was so difficult just to even work out for an hour and to work out in that heat. And I thought too that people in the room would be like, what is this idiot who can't keep up with everyone doing in here? And that was completely not how it was at all.
Yeah.
People were, trying to give me tips and stuff, even while we were working out. And I did have this moment that I was like, if I don't pour water on my head, I'm going to have to leave. And I was like, I can't believe I'm doing this in front of people, but it's something that I'll do now if I need to. It's you just that's part of being an athlete.
Yeah.
And they were awesome with me, even though I thought they would be like, this person's not like us. We've all been doing this method for a decade, and they were excellent at it. There was quite a lot of TAM legends in the room at that particular Vitality Week. So it was amazing that they were very accepting of me and helpful. And when we were in the double weights part, Aggie was there, and she pulled my heavier weights off. You can just try to survive, to get through it. And of course, we're not supposed to do that, but obviously there's times when either you're gonna make it or you're just gonna have to give up. And it was a great experience to just not give up.
Yeah, and that's what I was getting at. I mean, just don't get in that kind of the advice that maybe you would. So, what advice would you have for somebody that's just starting out?
For me, and I think most people I think would relate to my experience if they have not been a person that worked out before, or had athletic skill, because a lot of people that do the workout, they're like, oh, I was a runner, I was always into fitness, but it wasn't the right method for me, and now I found this and it's perfect. I don't know if there's a lot of stories about I never worked out at all and now I do advanced every day. So it was a graduating type of thing, like how somebody was just posting yesterday that Tracy talked about start with beginner with no weight, then add weight, then go to IMC with no weight, then add weight. I think it was really important for me that I did metamorphosis, and then I did some of continuity, and then I went into beginners. I think it would have been an even greater build on my skill if IMC was available then. But the biggest thing about it is continuing to push yourself and keep going to the next level. I still think every workout is difficult. At the times that I, give beginners a try, I still think it's hard. I'm very committed to doing advanced every day, but I'll do IMC arms at least once a week. And I'm like, those are advanced arms every time I do them. So if I let myself think I'm going to do this until it's not hard, I wouldn't move up. So to me, it's you have to kind of set a boundary for yourself and try the next one and see if you can do it. And if you can do it, then you need to stick to it. That's the one that you can do.
But I did have, probably a good, 9 months before I was doing advanced. And I mean, you guys can watch me live all the time. I do not do all of the reps on this ever. But, at least I am trying, and there's moves where I can. But that isn't what it was like at the beginning. I might have been only able to do 15 of each move or something. But then I could see how my strength changed and how I could do moves that I never thought I would have been able to do in my whole life.
Yeah.
And it was really from the consistency of doing it. And you know what? One piece of it, really important advice I would give is once I was able to do it, I would sometimes do 2.5 hours of working out on the weekend. And I could, I found, how that is amazing. But you do get to, this part where you can keep going. And that doesn't make any difference to my results. It didn't accelerate anything. It made me exhausted in some ways. And I did have, some issues with tendonitis and bursitis and stuff that, my tendons and ligaments weren't ready for everything I was physically doing that my muscles were preparing for. So some of that, overdoing it a little bit probably had an effect with that. And I thought, well, this week I'll lose more weight if I'm doing this. That never happened. It happens from the consistency. And I really strongly believe that you only need that hour. And that's why I don't do a lot of anything besides the advanced. I don't usually ever do cardio because that hour, I think, is enough for us. And I have seen now, because I probably haven't done 2.5 hours of workouts in a long time, the 1 hour is definitely enough as long as you're giving it your all.
Right. Give it your all. Stick with it. And just trust in what we're being to do,
Yeah.
What have you learned? What's your favorite? I'm looking at your questions right now. Who in the Tamily inspires you?
I really feel like everyone does. I just love to scroll through the feed before, if I feel like I don't want to work out, I'll just go out in my lanai where I do my workout and sit down and look at Instagram for a while, and then I'll be all right, I'm ready to do it. And I think too, seeing people that have stressful, important jobs and children and all the aspects of their life, and they fit their workout in. I know I have a job and a husband and a dog and certainly obligations. There's definitely people with more obligations than me doing their workout consistently. And that's just, the people that I see that are so inspiring, with their kids on the mat with them and stuff. I'm if they can do it, I can do this. And it's also important. It has to be a priority. It's not about who has time, because we don't have time. It's just prioritizing it and seeing all the Tamily that does that. I mean, especially seeing people in other countries, and now having people I would consider friends that live in Italy and England and all over the world, and seeing that they do the same workout that I do. And even when it's weeks that are really difficult, where Maria did the advanced instead of Tracy, and we all thought we were going to die. Seeing from everyone that they're it's difficult, but I did it. I think, it's completely changed my outlook about stuff like that because of how the Tamily inspires. I think I would have, without this community, maybe thought, oh, this workout is too hard. This is I can't be expected to be able to do this or something and give up. But I see people doing it, and it's so wonderful too to see people that are new to it trying. When they're working out and they aren't able to do it with the ankle weights yet and everything. So to me, it's the brand new people are inspiring, as well as the people who've done this method for a decade, and they can literally match Tracy's pace and all of that stuff. That's inspiring as well.
Yeah. Yep. Well said. Let's see. In person. If not, I think we kind of covered. Have you competed with anyone?
invited anybody to the TAM?
Well, there's two people I work with who will do the workout with me, like when I ask them about it. They're not doing it every day, but I feel like they might get on board. I gave one of them a DVD, and she'll do it, periodically and tell me like, "Oh, I did a DVD." But there's also a lot of people I've given DVDs to that have never done them and also never returned them. I gave a whole set of Metamorphosis out before, probably twice. And so I don't want to like follow up and pressure people too much. I want them to find it for themselves, like I found it for myself. Because, it was like at least 5 years before I was like really doing it, when I knew it was right and I knew I had all the resources. It just has to be the right time for you. But I want to convert people all the time.
Somebody, Happiness Through Tam, wrote that she's doing her workout right now and listening to us.
Oh, that's so fun! That's an excellent idea.
Yeah, exactly. And that's, people may not know this, but Ashley, Suzanne, and I have been, since our Vitality Week, you guys are my best friends. Like, we live 3,000 miles apart in 3 different states. I am way connected to you guys. I love you. You're like your family, and we do these group workouts where it's so cool, like what you're talking about with streaming and the adrenaline. But even when you're just in a screen with somebody and you're performing with them and I can hear their music and see them moving, it's just like I'm getting all kind of emotional about it, because it's like I said, church, and that like ultimately refresh. I don't know. It like cleanses your soul. Damn good about life.
Yeah.
That's an aside. Okay. So, anybody have any questions? And I'm gonna go to the full sheet. Workout partners who in the Tamily. Dan, I kind of answered almost everything.
Okay.
Oh wait. Well, I have a good one. What do your family and friends think about TAM and about your journey?
I think that they think that it's really great. I would like them to think it's great enough to like hop on board and do it as well. That doesn't always happen. My sister-in-law did a workout with me though, actually, when I was there for vacation just last month. But I think they think it's a positive thing and that it's had a lot of good results and good positive impact on my life. I do think also sometimes they think I'm crazy because I'm making this workout happen no matter where I am or what I'm doing. And so sometimes I get a little bit of like, do we have to make plans around your workout? And I'm like, yeah. Sorry. I'm not going to feel bad about it. I'm going to make it happen, and it's not going to be, I'm still going to participate in things that we do, but I'm going to say, like, okay, what are our plans for this day so I know, do I have to do my workout in the morning and the afternoon after we get back, even if it's late at night, but I'm making it happen. And so sometimes I do see things from people that they're like, do you ever not work out?
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, 23 hours a day, I don't work out.
Exactly. You said that the other night, and it like, but I get the same thing. I get, where my family's like, whoa, like, what's wrong? Like, why do you need to go lock yourself in a hot, humid room right now when you've got family here? And it's like, well, like Tracy said in a Vitality Week, you're going to brush your teeth today, aren't you? Probably right today. If you're
right.
So why would it's just part of it. But I get kind of family, like, they're supportive, but they're also a little, I don't know the word, not dubious about it, but just.
Yeah, like, always when someone is really dedicated to something and you don't know about it really or understand it, you can think, oh, that's kind of weird.
Yeah.
but I always like invite people to do it with me.
Yeah.
I'm willing to talk about it for hours, whatever they'll listen to. But I think like for the most part, especially people that do prioritize fitness, regardless of what fitness you're doing, they're supportive of it. But it does, especially for us being a method that's a daily method. People do sometimes think like, what? Why are you so crazy about this? Because it's so wonderful.
Yeah. Julie, you're absolutely right. And somebody else, I didn't catch their name, but they said they wanted to start, but they're so intimidated by the moves. Do you have any advice?
Are you asking me to give them advice?
Yeah, somebody. I didn't see who it was, but it says want to start, but intimidated by the moves.
Okay. I mean, I would say like do beginners or do metamorphosis or beginners, one or the other, and like take it slow. Like I know in the beginning, especially like things with balance and stuff, I would like fall on my face. It was crazy. I didn't have any balance, and now I do. So it's like about trying it and seeing that when you do it every day and do it consistently, you'll get better a little bit each day. And there are going to be some moves maybe that seem more impossible than other moves in the beginning. It looks like she might have, I don't know where it went, but she might have said that she did meta already. Yeah, so I mean, I would definitely do beginner streaming or continuity. I mean, I think they're both great. Maybe if you want more like connection with Tracy and to hear the things she says, it might be better to do continuity for a little bit. You don't need to buy 3 years of it though, and only do 3 months like I did.
If you want Omni, just send me a message because I have it all of them, and they're sitting there collecting dust. So
and I have the Omni continuity too. So
anything else?
It doesn't look like anyone else has any questions.
No. So I thought of one quick little thing. So earlier you asked me if there was a quote, I think, or something that motivated me. And I always go back to our first Vitality Week, and I think it was the very first day, the very first lecture, and Tracy said that needed to be physically available. Be physically available.
Yeah, I don't think we realize our boundaries that we create with ourselves and, even just how we use our bodies. Like, you just want to be open to what's happening, and that makes it so much easier to, like, be able to follow her in arms and stuff, and especially because, it's not predictive movements and she doesn't give us instructions. It's about that, and that becomes, like, easier every time. I mean, it's just about doing it as a regular practice.
And don't be so will you tell me your name, HSK on the run, because I want to be able to say your name. But anyway, yes, don't be intimidated. Try streaming. It's freaking amazing. Start with the beginner class that Maria's teaching right now, and I've done a few of them, and they will. Heather, hi Heather. My body is so sore after those classes, but so like in such a good way. It's almost like, I don't know if this is the way it's supposed to be, but it's like street meta for it introduces you to the language, language in a way that you can follow. Slows it down a little bit so you really see the angles, and it's amazing. And that's the other thing I was going to say really fast to add on to anybody who's just is intimidated by the physicality of the new movement that you're doing. Like, you wouldn't expect to walk into a classroom and come out of